Hello friends and welcome to Shared 'em Smiles. I'm Alyssa. I just wanted to try something a little bit different. Right now I'm making dinner for Jocelyn and myself. She's at work till late tonight. But it's not anything special. This isn't a cooking tutorial or anything. But my hope by talking to you while I'm kind of preparing and having dinner is that it'll be a little bit more conversational. And I'm going to kind of just talk about some things that are on my mind and kind of bring you along on the journey with me, talk to you about life, talk to you about what's happening on the channel, just about all different kinds of things, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. If you are interested in the dinner aspect of it, it's very generic, very simple. I'm just making some spaghetti. Obviously not sponsored, but I've got thin spaghetti from Giant Eagle, and then I also have Giant Eagle's meat flavored pasta sauce, which is, good for on a budget. And I've already started boiling the water. Right now I'm waiting for it to officially boil so that we can throw the pasta in, and then we'll really be getting down to all of the food stuff. I guess I wanted to say sorry for not putting out some of the videos that I have been saying I was going to or talking about. I tried to take part in the booktube-a-thon, and I said I was going to be filming updates, and I majorly failed at booktube-a-thon this year. There's 7 challenges in 7 books, and I completed 1 book. I started 3 and I only completed 1 of them though, and maybe I'll show them to you later in the video. Actually, not even maybe. I will show them to you later in the video to just kind of explain what happened there. I guess mainly what happened is I'm in a bit of a reading slump right now, which is interesting because I was actually reading a lot for a while, and then it just kind of hit a wall, which I think happens to a lot of people. For me, with this one, it's been more about not reading anything that's really engaging me, and it really stinks because I love to read, and there are times when I'm like just reading book after book after book, and like all of them to me are like 4 and 5 stars and amazing, and just recently I have not read anything that I would really put up there, which is really disappointing. Of what I'm reading right now, there's 1 book that it just was more of a time thing, that one I think I'm going to really enjoy, but the other 2 that I'm currently reading, I'll show those to you as well, not so much. I also know that some people have been missing the music side of things, and I am one of those people. I have been missing doing the music side of things. There was a YouTuber by the name of videogame_17 who requested an album for me to review, and I actually listened to that album multiple times since that person requested it. So if you are videogame_17, know that I have listened to it. I just haven't. I actually did film the review, and then my computer died. So all of that information was on there and it just crashed, and I just haven't really been able to commit to doing it again. But my hope is to do that in the near future. I realize that this is literally months and months and months after it's been requested, so at this point I would be frustrated with me too. So I'm not making excuses. It's just one of those things that life kind of took over, and so it didn't happen. But my hope is to get that out very, very soon. But I still have a lot of the notes and stuff, and I'm going to re-listen to it again, and I'm going to be hopefully filming that again very soon. That'll be coming up in the future. I have the ability to edit now a little bit better, and I'm learning a little bit more of how to do it. So hopefully my videos will be a little bit more concise and put together in that respect. And I think ultimately, even though I already had filmed this video, that'll hopefully make it even better. I don't know if it'll necessarily be worth the months of waiting, but hopefully it'll be worth it to watch it. And I also have other albums coming out very soon that I plan on making Upon First Listen album reviews for. I'm considering making other album reviews for other video or other albums that have been out a little bit longer. But just know that those are kind of on the docket to come back, because I do know that that is what most people who watch my channel came here to watch. I also plan on incorporating music in other ways, and also incorporating a lot of other ideas. I mean, this right now, which is just kind of, like I said, more of a conversational thing, you know, coming along with me while I make dinner. It's in hopes of taking my channel and making it what I initially set out for it to be. I've kind of talked about this before. Before I get into that, just so you know, the water has like boiled, so I'm going to start putting my pasta in there while I'm talking to you. When I first started my channel, and a few times after that, I know I've discussed kind of what my hopes were for the channel, and it's never quite been what I wanted it to be, which is unfortunate, but like, stuff happens. Like, I realize I'm not in focus. I'm sorry. It's because I'm just trying to get my dinner out. But it happens. And so I've just kind of, in all of these big long breaks that I end up taking time and time again, I've kind of been figuring out how I'm going to do that. So how can I take what my channel is and make it better? I've also personally been kind of having a little bit of like a quantity versus quality debate with myself, which what that comes down to is I didn't know if it would be better to keep putting out videos, because they say you need to be consistent and keep putting things out. So I didn't know if it would be better to keep putting out videos that I knew weren't of the best quality, but then I would at least get into the rhythm of putting out videos, or if it would be better to wait some time and really focus on making my videos better before I put a lot of videos out there, because I don't necessarily want, you know, these lower quality videos to be out there. And I know that I definitely have some on my channel that aren't up to par. But they were, you know, during the times where it was like, you know what, I'm feeling like making a video, I want to keep making a video. So when I first started this channel a long time ago, I remember it being during a time where I was looking at like my social media accounts, and I have multiple ones in different places, and they were all just so kind of depressing. Like, they were all very important issues that people were talking about, and I still think it's really important to address those issues, but it was just like I would open up and it was just all of these really sad and really serious news articles. And while I think that all that stuff is really important, I wanted to find a place for myself, for my own sanity, and maybe for other people who are looking for the same thing, to go to and find somewhere fun and uplifting content. And my first thought was YouTube. It was a way that I could do it without having to have a huge, you know, following already. I don't. I'm just, a person who has never done anything on a massive scale to have a ton of people who would already be following me, like have like a fan base. I didn't have that. I think I had just finished college when I started it, and like I was just looking for an outlet, looking for something where I didn't feel like I needed to be bombarded with the negativity, or that I needed to constantly be putting it out. And so my thought was, I thought of some of the people who kind of inspire me in that way, people who I know I can turn to if I need some kind of content that's going to make me smile after I've had a day that has kind of bogged me down. And while yes, you have people like Ellen, who's one of my main influences, I guess, who have like a TV show and stuff like that, I clearly didn't have that kind of outlet. But then I thought of people like Tyler Oakley, Hannah Hart is another huge influence for me in that way. Shane Dawson, especially in his more recent stuff that he puts out, like those are the people that I really enjoy to go and watch. And since then I've also learned of many, many others. I also love Grace Helbig and Mamrie Hart. There's some smaller people I think that I'm a big fan of as well. Maybe I can look those up and talk to you a little bit more about that stuff later. But I thought of all those people, and I was like, they started out as people who just wanted maybe not all of them, but if you read like Hannah Hart's videos or even some of Tyler, like, her book, I know she talked about she was just making a video for a friend, and I didn't necessarily have a friend in mind that I was making a video for, but I wanted to put something out there that I felt could be part of the more uplifting side of today's society and what everyone was going through. And hopefully, you know, start small, because that's what everyone has to do, but then maybe be able to actually make a difference at some point. I am nowhere near that, and that's okay. Like, I didn't expect to get there overnight, and like I said, I realized that I've been super inconsistent and that my videos have not been what I've wanted them to be. But I really feel like, you know, that this was the right place for me to start doing that. And so I started making videos, and when I first put out the idea to my friends on Facebook, they're like, yeah, we'd love to watch. And I don't think my videos have been what they would want to watch. And that's okay. I do want to put out some of that kind of stuff as well. But I think that I started with what I knew. At some point, the channel, I didn't know where I was going to go with it. I just knew my end goal was to try to make people happy and feel good in a time that maybe even sometimes I myself am having trouble with that. But I didn't know how I was going to do it. And so I went through a little bit of trial and error, and then for a while, my channel kind of turned into a music review channel. And that was actually when it was probably at its most successful, which I really enjoyed. And like I said, I'm going to hopefully bring those back. I really do have fun making the Upon First Listen album reviews with editing and other things of that nature. I do hope to make those videos better as well, because they definitely, like everything else, you know, could show improvement, but those were the videos that people seem to watch and enjoy, and I enjoyed making them, so I am going to be bringing them back. But I don't want it to be just a review channel, and I wanted it to be more of a reflection of who I am as a person, and I don't think that was necessarily coming across, and so I decided to incorporate some other things that I enjoy, and one of the other things I've been doing a lot of recently has been reading, and so that's why books became a big part of my channel for a while. However, I have found that those are the videos that no one seems to want to watch, and that's okay. BookTube is a really big thing, and that was actually one of the things is I had been watching a lot of BookTube, and that's what kind of inspired me to try to take a stab at that and do that, because I've done a lot of reading, and so I thought that, you know, I could add to that world. It's a world that I really enjoy watching and taking part of in that way, but I have only done a couple book hauls and a couple TBR type things and wrap-up type things, and, you know, that's just not what my audience comes to see, and that's okay. It doesn't mean I'm never going to do it again. In fact, I actually have a couple videos planned for that. One of the reasons being I tried to engage my audience, you guys, with me. I would love for this to be more of a community. I don't want it to be I'm sitting here and I'm talking to you and I'm telling you what to think or what to feel. I want it to be, you know, a community. Like, I want to hear what you guys have to say, and I ask for that during all of my videos, and I know that, you know, that's something that I think comes with time, and if you don't have anything to say, why would you bother commenting? Like, I totally get that. But I tried to engage my audience by having you guys pick numbers so that you would choose the books effectively that I would read that month. And I did that, but then I had so many things come up that month that I ended up reading a good chunk of them, or at least, I think I at least started every one of them, but I haven't, or except for one. There's one that I didn't start that I said I was going to read. And I've started at least all of them, and I actually think I finished all of them but one, which is okay, especially when you consider that I tried to do Booktubeathon and this bingo thing at my library, which added a lot more books to that than what I initially discussed. So what I've decided to do was that was supposed to be a July TBR, and what ended up happening was it was a July TBR, but it ended up being more of a July into August TBR, and more people responded later than I initially thought would, which was really awesome, so thank you for that. If your number was not picked for the first video, I have marked down what number you picked and what book, and that will be my next TBR. So I am going to do another video with those just so that I can incorporate everyone who responded, because I was really happy with the fact that people did. It's what I want. I want to engage people. I want this to be a community. Even though it's my channel, I want other people to be involved as well. And so it was really cool to have those responses, and I'm going to definitely use all of them, because it's not like it was this overwhelming amount that I have, like, that it would be too much and I wouldn't be able to use everybody. Like, I can, and so I'm going to make sure that I do that. But what ended up being was supposed to be a 1 month thing. It ended up kind of being 2 months. I realize I'm saying a lot. So without going into a ton of detail, because A, I don't think anyone wants that, and B, some of it is not my story to tell, life has been crazy, and a lot of things have happened. It's another one of the reasons that videos haven't been coming out as much, and I have been figuring things out. I ended up getting a second job to help pay for everything. I haven't started that second job yet. I will be starting it soon, but I got one. So it's kind of a busy time, but I still think it's actually a really good time to start making videos again, because I know for me, the videos sometimes were what helped me get through some of the harder times. I just think now is a really good time to try to get back in, especially as I'm learning how to edit more. I'm learning how to, like, just do a lot of stuff with these videos, and I'm still not 100% sure how to improve my channel. I'm always up for suggestions, and you know, I'm still learning. But one of the things that bugs me the most about my channel, and is why this particular video exists, is because I really feel like my personality is not coming through it. I definitely think having a second person to play off of would help, which would be great, but I don't really know anyone else who is actively making YouTube videos who would want to do something like that. And, you know, I've thought about, you know, trying to make connections, but I think I need to kind of establish where I am a little bit more before I can make that happen to a stronger, like, degree. But that's why, like, this setup, this was so important for me to at least attempt, because it's more of just, hopefully, me just talking to you, just having a conversation with people, instead of it being, you know, me sitting there being like, the first one I like is this, and these are the reasons why I like this. It felt very much so like I was reading from something, and a lot of times it's because I kind of was, you know, I was making notes, and the whole idea of, like, for example, an Upon First Listen album review, the whole idea is I've listened to it once, and these are my immediate thoughts on it. I did that to be, you know, a little bit different, you know, as opposed to having listened to it a million times and having these well-formed thoughts, you know, like, yeah, obviously your opinion's going to change, so I don't necessarily watch one of those videos and think the exact same thing months later for all of them. Some of them, I like them even more. Some of them, I like them even less. But it was just kind of a, upon first listen, this is what I think. You know, and to do that, though, you know, you listen to something once, you don't always remember the name of 17 songs and exactly what you thought of every one. But I really wanted to be able to dissect it a little bit more for you guys. And so I take notes, and then I'm reading notes, and then I'm trying to tell you exactly what I'm thinking. But because I wasn't editing, I was trying to do it all in one take, and it was just a bit much. And so I think editing will help with that. But like I said, one of the things that bothered me the most about that is I really think that it was a little, at least to some extent, a hindrance to me in you guys seeing who I really am. And even this video, it's long, it's ranty, it's kind of just off the top of my head, but there's still a lot of me that I don't think you're seeing. I think that, I want this to be more of a fun channel. And even this video, it's not really fun, but it's different, and I think it's a step in the right direction. I am not really sure where I'm going to go from here, but I know that I have ideas of where to start and then to continue forward. One of the things that I'm going to do, I can't believe I've waited this long into the video to say it, for anyone who's my friend and stuck around because you were hoping for these kind of videos, I am going to start singing on my channel, and not just like the, you know, the noise canceling headphones challenge, like not like that. Like, I'm going to actually sit down and do covers. One of the things that I really miss doing just for myself and want to get back to doing is writing my own music, which I think will be kind of cool, and maybe I'll be able to share some of that. But for right now, I think I'm going to start with covers. If anyone has any suggestions of a cover they'd like to hear, I mean, feel free to comment that down below. But I think that that would be, I think that that's something that my channel should have had a long time ago. I just haven't really been 100% sure of how I was going to go about doing that. So that's why it hasn't happened yet. But know that that is on the horizon. I'm going to drain my noodles real quick. I'll be back. Whew. These babies are rather hot. Oh yeah, those are definitely good. I'm going to check on the sauce a little bit. I don't know if this is a real thing. I think it probably makes your pasta watery. But I just wanted to add a little bit to get the other stuff off the edge there. And put it in there. I use a lot of sauce too, so people out here watching right now are like, oh my gosh, no, don't do that, please. Sorry about it. It should be ready very soon. I'm also making a mess of the oven, which is why I'm not going to show you the oven. But just know that I'm going to definitely need to take a washcloth or something to it later to get rid of all the little splotches and everything. Actually, while we wait for this to finish up, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over the books that I'm currently reading and talk to you a little bit about them. Alright, so I'm currently reading 3 books, and 2 of them are actually the leftover from the biannual bibliothon. The first one I'm going to tell you about is the one I've read the least of so far, and it was my coin toss book, which was The 10th Circle by Jodi Picoult. So far it's really good. It started off with the daughter, what's her name, Trixie. She's like been broken up with, she's brokenhearted. Her father is this comic book writer, and her mother is a college professor who is having an affair with one of her students. And it's Trixie comes home one night when her mother's away, and her father finds her in the bathroom just devastated, and she says, he raped me. And so really that's only as far as I've gotten into this, but it's definitely a very interesting premise. I'm really enjoying this book so far. I think of the 3 that I'm reading so far, this is going to be my favorite for multiple reasons. One being Jodi Picoult has been my favorite author for the longest time, and this is a book that I've been meaning to read since I was in high school, which is a long time, but I am just getting to now. But I put it aside to try to get through some of the other ones to kind of like reward myself at the end when I get to it. The second book that I'm currently reading, leftover from the biannual bibliothon, is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I think this one, I almost have the opposite of that one. I only have about like 80 pages left to go. And it just took me so friggin' long to read because it felt so friggin' long to read. It was just it was really hard to, like, it wasn't grasping me. It was very long, very boring, and it did finally pick up. But it finally picked up so late into the book that, like, I was almost gone by then. And the third book that I'm reading, I actually have to finish in the next couple days, and I'm reading it for book club, and that is A Simple Favor by Darcy Bell. This book is going to be a movie, which is why we decided to read it, because some of us had seen the trailer and were like, oh my gosh, that looks so good. If this book is any indicator, I'm going to hate the movie. It's just been really boring. I don't like the characters at all. The writing style is really kind of messy and not engaging, but I need to finish it for book club, so I'm going to do that, and I'll go a little bit more in detail, I think, when I finally do like a wrap up at the end. But these are the ones that I'm reading right now, just in case you're interested, throwing that at the end because, you know, that's what I've been doing. So sorry that this video was super long and ranty, but again, I don't really know how much of it you're all going to be seeing at the end because I am going to be doing some editing. It's boiling, ready to go. But yeah, thank you for coming along on this little journey with me and listening to me talk. I am interested to know any thoughts that you have below of things that you'd like to see on the channel, anything that I said that resonated with you or you think is a terrible idea. Let me know all of that stuff down in the comment below. Feel free to like, subscribe, all that, but that's not my main concern or worry right now. Thank you all for coming along with me. I guess I'll have a shot of the food. That'll probably actually be the thumbnail, just a picture of my dinner, which, wow, that sounds interesting, but I mean, if you're watching this, you clicked on it, so. But as always, thank you all so much for watching. I love you all, and don't forget to share them smiles. Ciao for now, friends.